Time now to talk business with our partners 2 Degrees. Our economy still bleeding job seekers to Australia in the latest migration numbers. Garth Bray, Business Desk, with me this morning. Garth, good morning.
Hey, Ryan.
Good to see you, as always. Now, another month, another bad data match run for the government.
Look, it's just the story of our times, right, is that we are still seeing strong numbers of people coming to New Zealand, but we're seeing much stronger than usual numbers of people leaving, and when they're going for good. Well, going for jobs, and a lot of them going to Australia, where the jobs numbers that came out yesterday showed that their unemployment rate dropped, I think, to 4.3 from 4.5. The growth is slowing over there, but they still managed to create, I think, about 55,000 jobs last month.
They did.
Looking good.
42,000 part-time, 55,000 full-time, and then 4.2% versus our 5.3% for unemployment.
And what that means over there is that the chances of their bank cutting inflation, their equivalent of the OCR have just dropped, and so overnight our dollar weakened against theirs a little bit more, so down under, I think, 86 cents. So the money that they're making over here, and if they're sending any back, is probably worth more. So it's all kind of adding up, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, the tourism numbers we're seeing, still good inflows, but most of the Australian tourists, they don't spend quite as much as some other tourists. So a little bit of a mixed picture in that data.
That is a problem, the tourist thing too, isn't it? Because we had those numbers yesterday, and you're right.
Yeah.
We haven't recovered China. They haven't been coming back. Yeah. We're relying on the Aussies to get us back, but they don't stay as long and they don't spend as much.
That's right. All of that suggesting that the consensus seems to be we'll see another rate cut. 25 on the 26th, but probably just a 25, not a 50.
Not a 50.
Not a 50.
Okay, all right. Speaking of rates, mixed messaging from the Fed on cuts. This is the US market wobbles that we've been talking about.
Yeah. I think when the last time I looked, the S&P was down about 1.3% and the Dow down about 1%. So this is the big tech stocks kind of dragging that down a little bit. People starting to lose a bit of the shine there. A lot of it is because they had expected that there would be a rate cut in December from the US Fed. And now that's been thrown into some doubt, partly because you've got various members of the committee that decides coming out quite openly saying different things, which is pretty unusual. They're trying to say, hey, we are really divided. And also data. Donald Trump, when he signed that bill, the White House to end the shutdown after 43 days, longest in US history, they're not going to release the October CPI, inflation and jobs data in time for the Fed to have those numbers. And Jerome Powell, he's saying, well, that's, there's basically it's not a foregone conclusion that we'll cut. So everyone's gone, oh, heck, maybe we're not going to be able to factor that in.
They should schedule another meeting for as soon as the data becomes available.
It's just the way they do things, mate.
I know, but they stick to these calendars.
Yeah,
and Reserve banks everywhere, I mean.
Yeah, I guess it's a certainty, right? I guess a lot of the AI stuff has been funded by debt necessarily rather than by capital raising from, a capital market, from the stock exchange
market, yeah.
So it's a little bit sensitive to that. People are starting to look at all of those kinds of different things.
Yeah, people are starting to get a little freaked out. Hey, finally this morning, a real bit of good news. Parliament has come together on an issue, bit of bipartisanship.
Yeah.
This is company directors' addresses.
Yeah, which is basically it's a privacy measure. So at the moment, if you run a company, if you're a director, you've got to put a home address on the company's register, which is publicly searchable. Anyone can look at it, which is great if you're trying to chase people who have been up to no good, if you're a journalist and you're someone who's owed money. But it's not so great if you're putting your name out there and
getting stalked.
Well, that we heard from company directors, and we're not talking like NZX50. We're just talking like the hundreds of thousands of small businesses that might also be registered as companies, and women getting followed by strange people in cars and saying this is because my home address is out there.
It's always been weird that you require. You can't input a lawyer's, an accountant's address. You have to put your home address.
From next year, that will be available. You'll be able to do that. And I think Deborah Russell, who was possibly sitting in one of these chairs, she was the Labor MP who shepherded this one through the House. Everybody voted unanimously for it. So not only are people liking the change, Institute of Directors, they're saying good on them for actually getting together for a change.
Very good. Garth, great place to finish this morning. Thank you. Garth Bray from Business Desk. Thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. Time is 19 away from 8. New Zealand's food and drink scene has... Oh, hang on. When we meant to talk about pennies? No, we'll do the pennies later. This is in the US. Are we talking about pennies?
I can tell you about pennies if you like.
Tell me about your pennies.
This is another little sign that, of change here from the US.
What's the saying about pennies? Who was saying
See a penny, pick it up all the day, you'll have good luck.
That's the
That's
one.
kind of a US, is it a US or a British one? I sort of thought, I mean, there's lots of stuff. Spend a penny, penny for your thoughts, whatever. Pennies, there are
Look after
250
your
billion
pennies,
of them around
your,
the place.
Your pounds take care of themselves.
Pictures you are seeing there are the last time this will ever happen in Philadelphia at the US Mint this week, after 232 years. That's the last batch of pennies that will ever be made. It was costing nearly 5 cents, I think, or 4 cents to make them. So there's a futile activity. And the same for the 5 cent piece. And, nickels are costing a dime or whatever. So I guess...
No
do you
one's
need them
using
anymore?
coins.
No one's using coins. They're all probably going Bitcoin, the rest of it. But hey, look, probably the copper, they need it for building data centres as well. So.
Garth, thank you. Garth Bray from Business Desk.